Well, hey, everybody, welcome to the Legacy Media Podcast, where we are all about adding value to your brand in order to help build it into a legacy. My name is Kenneth, and I'm the host of this podcast. Super excited because today I have a special guest on who's very bubbly, very eccentric, very awesome. And so without further ado, I just want to go ahead and introduce you to Sara Eppler. Sara, welcome to the
Thank
podcast.
you. Thank you for
I'm
having me.
purposely using a lot of hand movements so you don't doing all this
Cute.
stuff. So anyway, so Sarah, thank you so much for being on today. I'm really excited about our conversation because we're going to be talking about today basically what it's like to market from scratch. So Sarah is going to share some of her story of like what it's been like to change markets from moving from Houston to Fort Worth. She's still part of a team in Houston. She's still
Yeah.
traveling to Houston. I'm like, listen, she's a baller. She goes all out. So we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, and I really believe it's going to add so much value to those who are listening today, because you're either going to be somebody who's new to real estate, or you're going to be somebody who's maybe just looking for a fresh way to market yourself. You're like, I've tried other things, hasn't worked. What's just another way? And so this will be a great episode for you to listen to. So I'm really excited. Before we get into that, Sarah, just tell us a little bit about you, so that way our audience can kind of feel like they know you a little bit. Tell us how long you've been in real estate for. You just got married, so not too long ago, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
just tell
September.
us about you.
Yeah. So I have lived in Houston for the last 10 years. And while I was in college over at Texas A&M, that's kind of where I started interning at a real estate brokerage. So I worked at a company in Hempstead, just kind of like country Houston. Interned there, learned everything. I got licensed there in 2020. And then I worked at that brokerage as an inside sales agent and as a showing agent. And then I think it was 2 years after doing that, that's when I met Christy and Michael Newcomb, and I decided
Yeah.
to join their team. And obviously, I was making the transition of being on payroll as inside sales to 100% commission as a real estate agent independently. And so I had Christy and Michael help me, show me the ropes, train me, mentor me, share resources with me. And that was in 2023. So I've been on their team for about 2 years now. And I can't even explain how much I've learned and how much I have grown from just being with them. So very grateful for
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's super cool. Yeah, your team down there. I haven't met your group leader,
Mm-hmm.
Christy. You said is her name, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Christy.
So I haven't met Christy, but I can tell that she knows what she's doing. Just from
She
social
does.
media, I can tell like there's not just that she knows what she's doing. There's an intentionality that she
Mm-hmm.
has with really just the marketing aspect on with social media content, and I'm like, okay, she gets it. She gets it.
She does.
And so that's great that you were able to be kind of trained up by them. And even one of our first conversations we had, because we found each other through Instagram, really,
Mm-hmm.
and Instagram or Facebook, but I think we started connecting and chatting through Instagram. And I
Yeah.
was just like, hey, I'd love the opportunity to serve you, and maybe even earn your business. So love to take you out for coffee. And so I think we met in January or February for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And you were just telling me, you're like, yeah, so I'm part of this team in Houston. I still go back and forth, but I'm out here kind of like in the Weatherford area, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you were just like, I'm needing to basically do what we were doing there up here and
Yes,
just build it. And I'm looking for the right people to partner with. And so it seems like we've been able to be good partners in this. I think
definitely.
I've been helping you with some photos and videos, and you've been doing a great job just on your end too. And so it's just been really cool to see like how you can have a group leader like Christy really lead so well
Yeah.
for people like you
Mm-hmm.
who, I mean, I wouldn't say like you're a baby in real estate, but there's a lot. It's definitely really hard going to a new area where there's
Yes.
people who have probably been in it for 20 plus years
Yes.
who, and you feel like this, like, or there may be this perception of like, you're coming into my territory. It's
Yeah.
like,
And I'm
you know what I mean?
young. Yeah.
And you're young. That's
Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah.
just crazy. You also, real quick, you got married in December, you said, right? Sorry.
September.
September.
Yes. Same
And you
thing.
moved, and you moved up here from Houston when?
First.
November 1st. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, so not even a year of you being here. And honestly, you're doing a really great job. And so, and I'm bringing you on because, again, I'm bringing you on podcast because you've been part of a really great team, still are part of a really great team.
Mm-hmm.
And you're finding ways to almost implement that up here. And it seems to me like you're already doing a really great job. I mean, just by having a couple listings in the last month or so,
Mm-hmm.
even, I understand what it's like being in a business where the best way to get clients is just to go out and find them.
Yes.
They're not necessarily going to come to you, right? So you've been doing a really great job. So let's kind of move into the main part of the conversation. So tell me about this transition, okay, from Houston to basically Fort Worth, right?
Yeah.
What has that journey been like, whenever you had to leave the Houston market and start fresh here?
hmm
What has that process been like overall in a general view?
Yeah. So as soon as I got here, in my head, I'm like, okay, this is a new area, a new territory. I don't know my way around. I don't know the neighborhood. So really, one of the first things I did was just kind of familiarize myself with where do people want to be, where are, the most popular areas, the best schools and things like that. And I know that since I'm here, I just moved here, I don't have any clients, so my time is not going to be spent at showings. It's not going to be spent writing contracts, at going to walkthroughs, closings, whatever. So I knew that my time had to be 100% lead gen, right? Because those clients
Uh-huh.
aren't just going to show up if they don't know I'm here, if they don't know anything about me.
Right.
So part of what Christine Michael had taught me in Houston, and why I feel like I finally got everything figured out in Houston, was they told me to pick my big three. And so my
Mm.
big three, those are the three things that you want to focus on. And obviously in real estate, there are so many different methods of lead gen, so many different areas where we can spend our time and invest our effort and energy in. But there comes a fine line of what are we busy to just be busy, or versus what are we productive at. And
Right.
so your big
Yeah.
three are those things that you're productive at. And so two of those items are more professional. And then your third item is kind of your fun or your passion item. And so for me, I sat down in the very beginning, as soon as I moved here,
Hmm.
and it really just starts with the basics, knowing your numbers. So picking out, what is my sales volume going to be for the year? How many closings am I going to have? What's my income goal? And then working backwards from there, but getting there through the big three. So my big three, my first strategy was open houses. And not only is that going to put me in front of buyers, but that's going to teach me the areas, teach me what neighborhoods are buyers constantly looking in, what is the most popular. And so for me, my goal was at least 4 open houses every month. That's obviously going to be different for each person, but I definitely think open houses are worth it. My second one was social media. That's something super easy. We all can do that every day, just constantly showing up, Instagram, Facebook, stories, posts, videos, just being there. My third big three, my personal thing, was for me, my hobby. I show horses, right? We have 7, me and my husband show, me and my mom show. And so I'm trying to figure out a way of how do I utilize my passion for my business as well. And so for me, that looks like becoming a sponsor at one of the organizations that I show at. And so that includes having a banner in the arenas. And then I also get to set up a booth right outside the show office. And on top of those 2 items, I'm also there. And so I'm interacting with clients, future clients. I'm kind of generating that brand and putting a face to that picture. And so just being able to follow through with those 3 things every single day. I mean, when I first moved here, obviously, December, I had 0 closings. January, I had 0 closings. Because in real estate, what you do today, it's all about working forward. And so what you do today affects you
Right.
45 to 60 days from now. So it wasn't until
Yeah.
March when I had 5 closings, April, another 5 closings, and just from there, I feel like I'm just finally on my feet again from all of that
Mhm.
basic groundwork from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's so cool because again, they told you like pick those big three, to
Mm-hmm.
focus on. And I'm sure you feel like that's probably a reason of what's bled into some of the success that you've had in the last few months. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know realtors who even last year, which last year was a tough market,
Yeah.
in 2024. But I know realtors who, and this isn't a shot to them at all, but they like a lot of people struggled. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my business felt it because what affects your world affects my world,
Right.
and so I think to have 5 listings and like in the last month or two, and you're moving in a good trajectory
Mm-hmm.
because of those 3 things that you had in place, and
Yeah.
what I love about it too is that it's like the last thing about the showing horses, it involves your personality,
Yeah.
It's not just like, okay, what can I do just to make money, make money, make money? It's like,
Right.
no, I need to find something that I actually enjoy that can be a means of a funnel to
Mm-hmm.
bring potential income to me.
Yeah.
and also like a lot of what you're doing is just it's really good networking. And so
Mhm.
that networking aspect I think is key. If you're starting fresh, like whenever I first started, one of my first things I did is I went and talked to a loan officer that I used to work with at a bank here in Burleson. And
Mhm.
I knew that he went to the Burleson tour group of realtors. And a lot of different areas have tour groups where,
Mhm.
realtors will come in and they'll look at your house that you have listed and say, "Hey, here are our thoughts on it. What can help sell it if it's priced too high, too low, whatever." And so I knew he went there, and so I didn't feel like I could just show up. And I was like, I want to go talk to him and kind of like, yeah, man, I'm starting this out. I just need to meet people. I don't know how. And he
Yeah.
was like, "Dude, you gotta come with me to the realtor breakfast. This is the best place for you." And so for about 6, 7 months, every Thursday I was there. And I will say something about him is he's actually been going for the last 7 years every Thursday.
Wow.
And so it's being consistent. I think with
Mhm.
your big three, it's like being consistent to those to show up, whether it's going to be through the horses, whether it's social media marketing or open houses. That's something about open houses. Talk about that because I don't really think I think people know open houses are what realtors do, but they probably don't see the value in it as much anymore because they're like, well,
Yeah.
nobody's going to come and show up. So, or if
Yeah.
they do, that's what's going to happen. So, why do you think that open houses are still a good marketing tool?
Yeah, so in my experience, right, if you're looking for buyers, yes, we're out there looking for buyers and actively searching where are buyers going to be, right? They're going to show up at an open house. And so
Yeah.
you have to be strategic about which open houses that you do. And that's something that I have been very specific about, making sure that if I'm hosting an open house, whether it's for my listing or for another person's listing, it better be that first weekend live. I'm not going to go to an open house for a property that's been sitting for 30 days, 60 days. It better be like 5 days or less on the market. I better run comps beforehand and know that it's not overpriced. And while I'm there, I mean, showing up is half the battle, but while you're there, it's about the conversations that you're having with the people coming in. You can't just sit there and have them check in and then hopefully follow up. You have to make an impact and not just showing value about the house and about the neighborhood, but value in the connections that you have with that person as well. Because you want those buyers to leave and not only remember the house, but remember the agent that was in the house. And you want to
Mm.
give them a reason to reach back out to you and be that source of value for them. And so I feel like a lot of agents not necessarily drop the ball, but don't understand the importance of the conversations inside the actual open house with the clients because you want them ultimately to remember you as well.
Yeah, so good. Well, it follows back into the point you made earlier, where as realtors, you're always pushing forward. You're thinking
Mm-hmm.
forward, and so that's a great perspective because what we can do oftentimes is we're just thinking, okay, I'm in this for the here and now, so I need to make money. I need to sell this house. I need to do
Yeah.
something. And if you get so centralized in the here and now, you'll
Mm-hmm.
miss complete opportunities for people that remember you and be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
no, I want to be able to utilize you. I cold called so many people whenever I first started. So it was like 2 years ago. And I'm having some of them actually respond to me right now in this season,
Mm-hmm.
even after sending them messages for like, 3 or 4 times, not bugging them, but just at once a quarter, somebody's like, hey, I'm still
Yeah,
here if you need something. And now they're coming back. And I'm saying, wow. And so
exactly.
I realized like the work that I put in 2 years ago to network, to meet people, I'm starting to see the return of that right now. And so it just goes to show that you need to start doing something like open houses. There's still value in it. It's not a
Yeah.
waste of time as long
Mm-hmm.
as you're intentional and I'm using this as an opportunity for not just this current like listing, but to get more business
Mm-hmm.
later on. Would you
Yeah.
agree with that?
Absolutely. And that's why it's important too to make sure that you're tailoring those three to stuff that you are good at or you enjoy doing. So, like for me, I know some agents that do that. One of their big three is cold calling. Well, for me, I'm terrified of cold calling. So,
Mm,
you would never catch me doing that. So,
right.
that's not part of
Yeah.
my big three. Or another one could be you could be targeting expired listings. So, it's just really all about if open houses aren't for you, that's fine. It's just about kind of what you are good at, what you can be purposeful at, and not kill yourself trying to force yourself to liking something. And so that just
Oh, yeah.
ties back into that third one too. You have to have one that's your passion because that's where your personality comes out and your clients have to like you for not only your business aspect and what you can offer them and the value that you can give them, but they have to know you and like who you are
Yeah.
as a person as well.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Yeah, yeah. And so, it's exciting for agents to be able to listen to this because I'm sure their wheels are turning of like, okay, what things do I already have in my arsenal that it's like I'm already doing, but I can just be
Mhm.
intentional with, like the horse stuff, like that
Yeah.
you do. Like I've just seen everything as an opportunity.
Mhm.
A friend, I used to not friend people on Facebook because I'm just like, I don't want to appear like like I
Yeah.
need friends or whatever. But now, girl, I mean, every day, people, suggestions or people you may know, every single one of them.
Yeah.
I keep doing it until it doesn't allow me to anymore.
Yeah.
And 30 minutes later, get on Facebook again. There's more. Okay. And
Yeah.
you'll be so surprised at the amount of business I've gotten from that because people just start seeing me show up on their feed. They're like, oh,
Right.
you know, this is what he's doing. So, there's always ways of like, you can be intentional with any aspect. And I
Yeah.
think on those big three, you want to find things. There's probably one of those you want to find that stretches you a little bit. You want to have one
Mhm.
that also is right in your wheelhouse that just seems natural for you, and then
Yeah.
maybe a fun one too, like the horse stuff.
Yeah.
And I think if you can have fun with it, if it can be something that you enjoy, and or something again that stretches you, but you're like, I want to grow in this aspect.
Yeah.
Like open houses. Some of you may be like, I don't really feel like I do good in face-to-face interactions with new
Yeah.
people very well. But I'm gonna try it and I'm just gonna put myself out there and just put my best foot forward. And you just go all in
Mhm.
on it and you never know what can happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so what do you think, what has been the hardest struggle starting over for you?
Um, I would say just sticking with it because obviously, like I said, I moved here in November and I didn't see anything until February. And so
Yeah.
I was super go mode lead gen 100% from November to February. And then once I started having those closings, I didn't have time to lead gen 100% all day, every day. So it was finding
Right.
that balance of, okay, now I'm busy, but I'm working on writing contracts, going on showings, scheduling walkthroughs, closings, all the things. How am I still going to fit in my lead gen? And so it was finding a way to manage at my active clients that I have, but at the same time, work a time block into my day so that I'm still lead genning every single day. Because once these clients close up, what's my pipeline in 30, 60 days? Nothing if I'm not lead genning. It was for me creating a time block and sticking with it and being disciplined and consistent on what I was doing every single day to make sure that I
Wow.
was never dried up 30 to 60 days from now.
That's crazy. Honestly, what I would have expected, and probably what most people would expect if I asked the question, what's been the hardest thing? And they're like, it's just moving to a new area and you don't know anybody. But your answer to this, well, I'm sure that's part of it. Your answer
It
to
is,
this
yeah.
is different because you just said, it's more so how do I be consistent with lead generation even in the good times when there's work. How can I, because that it shows like you're not just thinking for the here and now, you're thinking
Yeah.
forward. And I think that's a theme that we're probably going to think on most of this podcast. I'm hoping people will remember, think forward, think forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like that's so good. I was not expecting you to say that. I was expecting you to say it's just hard not knowing anybody. And again, while
Yeah.
that plays a part into it, it's almost like if you can remove that as an excuse from your head of
Mm-hmm.
like it's going to be hard for me to meet anybody. And what if you just turned it into, and this is what I had to do with my business. I had to believe like, listen, I believe I'm one of the best in the business when it comes to real estate media. I believe I have good character. I believe
Mm-hmm.
that people will be happy that they worked with me. And so why not extend the
Yeah.
opportunity to them? So if you believe, then it becomes easy. And then it's in a very similar way what you're experiencing for me, even right now. I'm like, golly, I'm getting so busy, but I still need to find time to go out and do
Yeah.
client acquisition. I still need to find out to
Mm-hmm.
reach out to people. It's a hard balance, but it's a good rub to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so
Well, and
like, go ahead.
especially like what you were touching on was like being able to, yes, moving is terrifying. I don't know anyone. I left my team in Houston. I could drive over there in
Yeah.
20 minutes and be face to face with Christy and she could help me. And now that 20-minute drive is 4 hours. And now, I mean, I've lived here for less than 6 months where I lived in Houston for 10 years. So, and on top of being in a new area, I've never been a wife before. So I'm trying to manage being a good wife and trying to be a homemaker and all the things. But on top of all of that is knowing like the business isn't just going to come to you. Like you have to put that energy somewhere because you have to go out there and find it. No one's going to know that you're an agent. No one's going to know that you have character and that you work hard and what you offer if you're not putting yourself out there.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Do you feel do you feel the pressure to succeed? Like, do you feel like, because what you just named off a lot of stuff, you're like, okay, I just got married. I went to a new market. Like, do you feel this pressure of like I've got to make this work, and if I don't know what I'll do. Like, do you feel that?
I wouldn't call it a pressure. Like for me, I am a super competitive person. And so that's why I show horses, right? Like
Yeah.
not necessarily that I like to win for myself. I like to win for everyone. I like
Mm.
everyone to get exactly what they want. And so when I looked at the move, instead of looking at it as like this huge challenge, I just kind of saw it as a way where I'm starting over, but scaling smarter on what I already know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Christine Michael gave me that foundation where I feel like I left Houston at the perfect time because I figured out what worked for my business and now I'm just scaling it smarter here. So I didn't look at it as like this pressure, like I have to do this. I saw it more of like as an exciting challenge where who can I help now? How many people can I get in front of now on top of what I'm already doing it in Houston? So definitely, I mean, your mindset alone is just half the battle.
Yes, yeah, no, for sure. And you have to like take control of every thought. Like I'm reminded of a scripture that says like take every thought captive. And so for
Mm-hmm.
me in the season where I lost my job and I was struggling just to find clients, I'm like, Lord, I'm not gonna be able to do this. And I mean, I have three boys to support, have my wife to
Yeah.
support, and then just to like I could have just decided that this was too hard. I'm going to stop and just go do something else. And I think
Yeah.
that's what happens with a lot of realtors is they find
Mm-hmm.
whether you go to new market or not, a lot of them are like, it's just too hard. And what's so great is
Yeah.
that it sounds like you just have really good leadership, that people who believed in you and not just that they know like the algorithm of what works, but they say, hey, we do know if you follow this process, that there's
Yeah.
fruit on the other side of it. You just have to
Absolutely.
sow, you have to
Yes.
plant the seeds, you have to dig the dirt, you have to do it for a season in order that you can reap a harvest later on. And
Yeah.
so I think that's what a lot of people real estate sounds fun and it is fun, but they come into it with probably unhealthy expectations like, oh, well, I know all these people. Everyone needs to sell a home or buy a home at some point. So it should be easy.
Right.
And thinking of it like, yes, it should be that easy, but it's also a challenge because it's just not as easy as that sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it goes around with every business can be successful, but it's just a matter of will you allow yourself to rule over your own thoughts of thinking like, because I'm sure there's people who think I'm not good enough or like in
Mm-hmm.
their heads as a realtor, like I'm not good enough. I'm not as personal as them. I'm not as happy and bubbly. That's not my personality. But when in reality, it's like once you know who you are and
Mm-hmm.
how you operate and like you said, what your big three are, you can focus
Yeah.
on those things that are simple. Then
Yeah.
bam, like you're going to do
Yeah.
awesome. You just have to be consistent. And I would say you just got to show up, right? You just
Yes.
got to show up.
Yes. Showing up is like literally 90% of this business and just following up and being consistent. But that big three, it's three for a reason because three is a super manageable number, right? It's not super overwhelming. And
Right.
especially in this industry, it's so easy to fall into that trap of just being busy versus being productive, like we touched on earlier. So it's really
Yep.
just asking yourself, am I doing this just to do it, just to check it off the list, or am I doing this because it aligns with my strengths and it has a purpose?
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. So, with all that now being thought and said, should I say, let's kind of change gears a little bit to talk about like some of the social media marketing that you've been doing. This is something we talk about with nearly every single person we're bringing on the podcast. This is the idea of marketing yourself effectively through social media, which usually consists of doing some sort of video work, whether that's on your own, through your cell phone, whether that's hiring somebody, whatever it may be. So you said that social media was the second of the three. So how has video played a part into marketing yourself in Houston, but also up here?
Yeah.
Why do you see the value in doing video so much?
Yeah. Well, I honestly didn't think about diving as deep into the video before our meeting that we first had when you said the best way to maintain your followers or your following is by your normal posts and in your stories, but the best way to get new viewers and new followers is by your reels and your videos. And so it was actually you were the one that inspired me to kind of take that a little bit more seriously and so when we started doing our listing videos and I'm in front of the camera, as much as I hate it because I don't like
Yeah.
being in front of the camera, that's where I get most of my interaction because everyone is like, "Oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
you're doing great, like you look awesome. I love the videos, all the things." And so that's
Yeah.
where I get most of my interaction because the people want to see you. They have to see who you are and your
Yeah.
personality. And yes, showing up and posting every day and posting about real estate is great, but you don't want to bore them. You have to show them what you're doing. You have to show them that you're at the horse shows, you're at the gym, you're with your kids. They have to see who you are because, like I said, yes, they have to know you offer value in the business, but they have to know you as a person as well. So you were the one that inspired me on that note.
Oh, well, that makes me feel so good. I mean, for me, I mean, honestly, it's not a selling point uh for someone just to use me. I think I even told you in that meeting, it's like, look,
Yeah.
if you never use me at all, that's fine. Just I guarantee you, if you start doing some videos on your own, at least you'll be able to see some
Yeah.
traction. And there's so much truth about video. And so, what would you say that video is a means of connection with people?
Yeah, because they can hear your voice and they can see your expressions and they can hear what you have to say. So it's a lot better than just a picture with a, let's just say that we all use a chat GPT for our captions.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
gives you some personality and some life to who you are.
Yeah, for sure. I think I've said this on almost every episode so far that I really just need to do an episode total separate on just this, but you want to be relatable so that way you can become relational. And so for people to be able to actually see who you are, you can have a post that can talk about your listings and that's fine. But the moment you have video, again, it's pushing you're not just thinking on that listing. Video is a great way to think forward and to say, okay, I'm doing this video. I'm hoping it helps this listing sell, but if anything, I'm trying to get in front of the next 5,000 people that are going to see this video.
Right.
I think of Sara Eppler that, hey, I want Sara on she sounds like me. She has the weird hand movements, she doesn't know what to do with her hands on camera. I don't know what to do with my hands most of the time. And so, they're wanting to have a means of connection, I feel.
Yeah.
And like I don't like doing video of myself. Like I feel like I look weird and sound weird every day on the story.
Yeah.
Like literally just before we got started, I tried recording a clip like about 10 times and I was stuttering, I messed up, and I'm like, this is so annoying. But I see
Me
the
too.
value in it. Yeah, yeah, right. I see the value in it. And I'm like, oh, I know why
Yeah.
we should do this. And it's just super important. And so
Mhm.
now I know that so Christy and your team down there in Houston, they have social media content days, right? Where y'all are not just shooting listing videos, but y'all are actually just providing like educational content, right?
Right.
Okay, can you talk about that some of what that's been
Yeah,
like?
so we have it's usually like twice a month ish. Obviously, I can't make it to both because it's 4 hours away, but I try to go to at least once a month. And so we meet at a model home, a new construction community, and we go around to different model homes, not only explaining this is what this builder offers, this is what the rate you can get, but also like the amenities of the neighborhood. And so while we're there, we also sit down and we have, so to speak, of where we kind of talk about hot topics in real estate, experiences that we've had with past clients, maybe objections that we've gotten at our latest appointments, and we're able to kind of knock those down into little segments to be able to post on social media for our clients and for future clients to see, just for them to know that we are real people. This is kind of what we go through. This is what we've handled, and this is what we can do for you as well.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think just starting with video, whether it's again on your phone or if it's with somebody like myself or whatever, it's a great way to start. Again, like starting from scratch. If you're wanting
Yeah.
to market yourself well, I would say like doing video, and then you can go into having content days like y'all are doing. And what's great is that you don't have to have a professional or not that I feel like I'm a professional. I think
You
I'm
are.
good. Yeah, well, thank you. But like you don't have to have like an expert come out and do
Yeah.
that. I think a lot of people they don't want to do it themselves. They're like, well, the quality's not there, and I'm all about quality, and so I don't want to deliver something that doesn't look and sound like quality. When in reality, I think people just want to see you get started,
Yeah.
and you're just doing yourself and your potential clients in the future a disservice by not giving them an opportunity to know you. And so I think if someone's starting off in a whole new area, one of the best things they can do. Again, I want to sound like a resounding gong on every episode, but one of the best things you can do is just use video. And we
Yeah.
had so much fun on the listing videos. Can you can you talk about the process of like what that's like for anyone who's listening, who's they've probably seen a listing video that I've done or on your end. Can you tell them just what it's like doing a listing video? Not even to say like Ken is awesome, but just like your experience of it, like
Yeah.
how we set up, what the go through of that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So how it works is usually, I mean, I'll show up for like the first 30 minutes or so of our scheduled photo time so that we can do our video. And then once I'm done with the video, it's great because then if I have other showings, if I have other appointments, I can just leave and let Kenneth finish up picturing the inside of the house. So to me, that's super convenient that I don't have to be there the whole time or wait until the end. So I can just kind of show up, get what we need done with me and the camera, and then he can have the house to himself. So that way my truck's not in the video, I'm not in the way, whatever. And so when we get there, obviously I do not like being in front of the camera. And so I have a hard time specifically with what do I do with my hands? And so I'm
Yeah.
always asking, what do I do with my hands? Does my hair look okay? What should I
Yeah.
say? And Kenneth helps me on obviously what I need to do with my hands. What do I say? What's going to sound best? What's too wordy? And so I really like that he kind of helps me come up with what we have to say, what's going to capture people, what's a good hook. If that way I'm not coming in blind. I don't know. I'm not the expert in that area. So I do appreciate having someone there to kind of guide me through that whole process. And that just makes it less scary to me. So I do
Yeah.
appreciate that.
No, for sure. What do you think your clients, like your sellers, perspective of you is? Again, like some people up here who are, I'm assuming every person, most people you've been helping them with homes with up here probably haven't known you up until recent or so,
Right.
some of them. So what do you think their perspective is whenever they see you doing video on a listing? Because they know the photos are going to happen, but then they see the
Yeah.
video. What do
Yeah.
you think they think about you when you do that?
So they love the video. And a lot of people, they're like, I don't even know my house could look this good. He did such a great job. And the fact that you were there in the video, like I love that. They don't expect you to just to include all of that and to put yourself in there as well. So I think it's really just giving your clients that extra touch of personality on top of the listing because you sold yourself to the seller, but you also have to sell yourself in the listing to the buyers as well. So it's kind of a double whammy being able to fit both of you in that same video and get that out there because a video with you in it and the house and your algorithm is going to have way more views and attractions than if it was just the house and not you in it because your followers aren't following the house, they're following you, if that makes sense.
Oh, that was solid. Followers aren't following the house, they're following you. Oh my goodness. I'll have to soundbite that or something.
Oh
So
my
good.
goodness.
I will have to use that just to tell people from moving forward. That
Yeah.
was so, man, that's so good. What I really like is that, again, I'm always my main goal is always thinking of how can I best help the agent, you know? So I want to always help them get their home sold, but I'm like, I want to help
Mm-hmm.
them build their brand and help them become more well known. And that's why I ask about what your sellers think, because it's you and I both know the majority of business that we get is usually referral.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you come out and you bring every single weapon in your arsenal to be like, this is how we're going to fight this war of getting your
Yeah.
home sold. You know, we're doing this together. We're going to bring in the right people. I have all my preferred vendors.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever they see it's almost like they don't have to do anything, which is how it should be for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, I didn't have to ask them to do extra. They just came ready to do a virtual twilight, ready to do a listing
Exactly.
video. And while it benefits you as a realtor, it also shows so much to your clients for them to see that because it's you continuing through the whole transaction, giving them a reason why they should choose you. And the moment they choose you, in my opinion, for every single thing you do after that, it's proving to them that you made a good choice in choosing me. You know,
Exactly.
it's like I'm going to follow up with every single person who comes in the house, you know, who's I'm going to try to get as much feedback. They're not having to beg you for information. You're just
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, no, the person came today. I reached out to them early the next morning. This is what we got, you know? And so I think that just goes a long way. And so, yeah, I think videos just play a really good part. It's something I think that, you know, even photography 10 years ago wasn't as much of a big deal. It's really started within the last 10 years. Real estate photography becoming a more of an industry, should I say. And so, I mean, there's still agents out there taking photos on their phone, which is cool. You can sell a house
Oh,
that way. You can sell a house using pictures from your phone. That's fine. But I don't
don't do
really
it.
think Yeah. Yeah, don't surely. I mean, like, if you're doing pictures on your phone, like you may be an amazing person, and I'm sure you are, but you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not thinking forward, right?
Yeah,
And so
100%.
don't do it. Just don't do that. So
But
yeah, yeah. So I'm glad that whenever you came up here, you didn't take pictures on your phone.
me too. So
Good
thank you
job.
for messaging me.
Yeah, no problem. For sure. For sure. Well, Sarah, I wanna keep you too much longer, so I want to wrap up and I want to have you just give one more thought to me for someone who is starting out. And some of this, if you it's okay to reiterate what you've already said
Yeah.
if you need to. But if you had to give advice to someone who's going to a completely new market, start or just they're starting from scratch and they're like, hey, I just need fresh ideas or I just need to start somewhere. What would you tell them as far as like, hey, from my experience as being starting from scratch in a new market, if I
Mhm.
were you, I would market yourself like this, or I would take these steps. What would you say to that individual?
My biggest piece of advice, or what I guess give most of my success for, is joining a team right away. Like if you're brand new or maybe you're seasoned but you're stuck and you don't really know what to do, having a team as your backbone
Mm,
is everything, because if you might not know the answer to something, who I mean, we don't know the answer to everything, right? But being able
right,
to call
right.
someone and have an answer in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, being able to leverage their business. They are well known, but being able to hop on that trend and be part of that picture of, hey, I might have just started 2 months ago, but my team has been in the industry for 20 years. Or I might have 20 followers on Instagram, but now I can collaborate with my team lead who has 7,000 followers. And so it's being
Mm,
able to
good.
leverage the people that are around you and be
Mm,
constantly learning, so that way you can build yourself up to at the point where you are ready to fly. Granted, I never left my team. I'm still on my team, but I flew 4 hours away and I'm
yeah,
still being able to build that here. So
so
being on
good.
a team is everything to me. I never want to leave my team. I love the leadership. I love the mentoring that I get, but also being able to mentor any new
Mhm.
team members that we might have. And so for me, that was probably one of the best choices of my real estate career that I've ever made. But obviously, being on a team might not be for everyone. So to those people that maybe aren't interested in being a team, I would definitely just reiterate, pick your big three, do it every single day, time block, be disciplined, and just show up, because that's half the battle.
Yeah, so good, so good. Well, I think you've provided like so much valuable information in this episode, and even in regards to the team aspect, I think a lot of
Yeah.
people they think, well, if I go to a team, they're just getting a portion of my paycheck, and I'm working for that.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be able to see the value in what you're like you said, they're your backbone and your
Yeah.
support. And you're going to find you could find some teams that are not the best fit for you, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
that all teams are bad teams.
Right.
So there's definitely value in partnership and collaboration and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's extremely valuable. And obviously, as we've hit on a lot today, the big three. And so, yeah, I absolutely love it. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for being on. Do you have any final thoughts? Are you good? Anything, last thing you want to share?
I'm good. I appreciate you having me here. And obviously, if anyone is interested in learning or needing advice or anything, I mean, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help, happy to meet up, anything. I'm here to help. So,
Awesome, awesome. Well, with that, if they are needing help, how can they find you? If you know your Instagram handle,
yeah.
how can they find you?
So my Instagram is sarah.b.eppler, I'm pretty sure. And you can also just look up Sarah Eppler on Facebook, and I can give my phone number, whatever. You tell me what's best. So
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. I think that would be a good starting point, just finding you on
perfect.
social, and then they can actually begin to see, oh, I feel like I know this person before I ever talked to them on the phone. So that's a
Yeah.
great starting point. So awesome. Well, thank you again for being on today. Very thankful to have you as a client, not because I see you as a dollar sign, but because you're someone who provides value back to me. And so you just taking time to be on the podcast means a lot to me. So thank you so much. You also, I've said this, but anytime you answer the phone, she's like the biggest hype girl. So if you're needing a pick me up and you're just like, "Hey, Sarah." She's like, "What's up, dude? How's it going?" I mean, I immediately feel like 10 times better. I feel like I just climbed Mount Everest. And so
My gosh.
thank you. You're an encouragement to me, so I really appreciate you. So I love it. I love it. Well, everyone, thank you for listening in today, and I really appreciate you just continue to come back to this. And please send this to somebody you feel it could bring value to. And we're not here trying to make millions of dollars from this. I'm not making any money from this, Sarah. You're not making any money from this at all. But we're just looking to just provide value to people. And so I really appreciate you. But until next time, we will see you later.